Yeah, thank you. Okay, so in the last class, what we had looked at was the process of osmosis. But let me also briefly go over this all this absorption process. So first, the process for absorption by roots was imbibition. That was a surface phenomena. Second, we looked at was diffusion. Diffusion was across, like along the concentration gradient, that is the movement of solute molecules from higher concentration to lower concentration. And then in diffusion, we had seen two types, that is simple diffusion and facilitated diffusion. So if the movement is along the concentration gradient without any carrier molecule, then it is simple diffusion. If it is with carrier molecule without any energy involvement, that is facilitated diffusion. Just some molecule is helping there. Then the osmosis process, which is the movement of solvent molecule, and that happens again from dilute solution to the concentrated solution side, that is the lower concentration of solute to higher concentration of solute. And that way osmosis happens. Again, osmosis happens in specific cases where the membrane is only permeable to water and not to the solute. In those cases only osmosis will happen. There also we had seen two types, that is endoosmosis, that is the inward movement of the water or the solvent molecule when it is inside the cell, that is endoosmosis. If it is happening, the movement is happening outside the cell, that is water is moving from inside to outside, that is exoosmosis. And that is the second type of osmosis. So that is what we had looked at so far. Now, the next process that happens in the plant is active transport. Now, in active transport, the most important parameter is that it happens against the concentration gradient. Diffusion happens along the concentration gradient. Active transport happens against the concentration gradient. What does that mean? Like if we have two compartments, one is with higher concentration, other one is with lower concentration. Diffusion will happen from higher concentration to lower concentration of solute. Active transport will happen from lower concentration of solute to higher concentration of solute. That is the against the gradient. Yeah. And for this process to happen, it will need some energy. So that is why it will use the external energy. Now, why and how of this whole of this active transport we'll see consecutively in the next slides. So during this process of active transport, a protein pump makes the use of stored energy in the form of ATP to move the molecule. Now if you look at the diagram, let's say I say this lower side, this is upper side, this pink thing is the membrane, this yellow thing is the membrane protein, and you can see these blue molecules, solute molecules, they are getting transferred. If you see the arrow, that it is transferred from upper side to lower side. Yeah. Now if the concentration is lower on the upper side of this membrane, and if the concentration of solute is already higher on the lower side of the membrane, still the movement of molecule or the solute molecule is happening against the concentration gradient, that is from lower concentration to higher concentration. And for this, it is needing this ATP in the form of energy. Now, why does it need energy? Now you can simply imagine this is a protein molecule. When they are helping the transport of molecules against the concentration gradient, what they will do is this is usually a protein bond breaking and bond forming energy that is involved. So whatever energy will be supplied by this ATP will be utilized by this protein, the yellow thing shown here, either to break the bonds, and then it will take the solute molecule inside and drop it on the other side. So that way, this is like bond breaking and bond forming of this protein. Proteins can be either a single protein or two proteins or many proteins at this place, but that will still need energy if they have to transport the solute molecules across the concentration gradient. I hope this part is clear. So usually the two examples that we give in case of active transport is the uptake of glucose in the intestine in the human body, and secondly that is the uptake of minerals or ions into the root hair cells of the plants, and these are the examples of active transport. Now for example, if let's say we have just eaten the food, and now it is digested in the stomach, broken down to finest particle, and it is going through the intestine. Now whatever glucose is there in that intestinal membrane will get transported to some extent by the process of diffusion, right? But only at the start. As and when the food goes down the intestine, that is towards the end of small intestine, towards the end glucose has already been absorbed, and there will be more glucose in those blood capillaries which are connected to microvilli compared to the glucose into the food, that is digested food at the end. And that is where the concentration gradient will be established, that is blood in the capillaries next to intestine will have higher glucose, and the intestinal lumen which is having the digested food will have lower concentration of glucose. And now if this glucose from the intestine has to be transported into the blood, it needs an active process, that is active transport. So there it will utilize energy, and the glucose molecules from the intestine will be uptaken into the blood by this active transport process. So that way this example functions, and it leads to the process of active transport. Now can someone explain me why uptake of minerals or ions into the root hair is an active transport process? Anyone? Why the uptake of minerals or ions into the root hair cell is an example of active transport? I explained you one situation, why it has to be true with the second situation or second example as well. Some
Because
yes.
because there's higher amounts of mineral in the soil than in the roots.
Now why it is higher?
1 second, wait, I got confused.
Anyone else in the meanwhile? Or I can take some names. Mr. Laksh, would you like to try? Laksh. Navya. No. People don't sleep. Don't sleep. Don't sleep. I can't see that. Hello? People, good morning. Wake up, answer, say something. Don't disappear from the screen. Laksh, are you there? Now we
Sir,
are.
Laksh is chatting.
Oh. I just removed him from the class. Why? I don't check the chat. Fine. Now is also chatting. Sorry, Laksh. Why don't you people say it? I don't really look at the chat box while teaching.
So you'll have to restart the meeting to get him in.
Sorry.
You'll have to Oh, he's there. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, he just came back. Okay, anyone wants to answer this part? Why the uptake of minerals or absorption of minerals inside the root hair is active transport. Akshay?
I don't know, sir.
Okay.
So I can try, but I'm not
Yeah,
sure.
say it. It's okay.
Okay, so because since an active transport, it's the movement of minerals against the gradient from a
Correct.
place of lower concentration to higher concentration. No, from higher concentration to lower concentration.
No,
No?
from lower to higher.
Oh,
Otherwise, it will be diffusion.
okay, then I don't know. Because I would assume that the soil has a higher concentration.
Correct.
So
But that's at the start. Over the time, it is opposite.
so does it start as diffusion and then turn into active transport?
Yes, that's exactly how it happens.
Oh, okay. Oh, so it starts
Yeah.
with diffusion.
Shantanu, would you like to try? Dr. Shantanu, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Would you?
So basically, active transport is from lower concentration to higher
Yes, your voice is breaking, Shantanu. Yeah. Okay, now it's completely gone if you are speaking.
She's right, right?
Yeah.
Sir,
Yeah, now I can hear you.
hello,
Yeah, hi Shantanu. Now I
hello.
okay. I guess we can't hear you, or rather you can't hear us.
This is fine.
Okay, fine. So let me try and explain.
Hello, 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 hello.
Mike text.
Yeah. So yeah.
His internet is bad.
Okay, Shantanu, I guess we can't really hear you. So let me try and explain it. Maybe I'm there. Okay. Let me try and explain it on the board. Why does that happen? So usually, I'm not drawing a complete plant now, but you can imagine that these are the roots, right? And this is one of the root here. Yeah. So this is the stem part. This is the soil below this, and this is your root part. Okay. Now, when the tree was planted at that time, or maybe when the seed is just sprouting and it's making its new roots or young roots, in that case, there will be no minerals inside the root here, right? These minerals, now I am drawing them, but at earlier point, when the roots are young, they will not be there at all, right? And inside the soil, there will be quite many of the minerals, right? And this I am talking of the young root situation. And that case, diffusion will happen first. So along with the water, the minerals will also get absorbed. So some of the minerals, they will go inside by the process of diffusion. And that is the case when I am talking of young roots or the new roots or new root hairs and hair cells, not hairs. So new root hair cells, they will have some minerals inside them by the process of diffusion. Now imagine over the time this process has happened and root hair have accumulated quite a lot of that, right? And it is having higher concentration than the soil. But soil will have lower concentration of the minerals, and this root hair cell will have higher concentration, and that is when it will become an active transport over the time. Now to transport these solute molecules inside the root hair cell, we need energy, and that is happening from lower concentration to higher concentration, and that is why it is an active process. And why does it happen? Because it over the time it leads to the accumulation of the minerals inside the root hair, and that is why it becomes active process. Majority of this root absorption, mineral absorption inside the root is active process. At the start, it is a diffusion process. So when we say the uptake of minerals is active transport or happens by active transport, that means not only by active transport, it can happen by other processes as well, at least at the start, like I said, by diffusion. So that is how this uptake of the minerals or ions into the root hair cell of the plant is again an example of active transport, like the case of uptake of glucose from the intestine. Now,
Sir, can you repeat? I was not able to hear.
you want me
Your
to?
voice was cracking, sir.
Okay.
Just repeat the part, like the part which you were telling right now about the active transport.
So what I said is, at the start it will be diffusion process because the young roots, they are just growing and they will not have any minerals. But over the time, when the minerals start accumulating inside, and that there are certain reasons why they are accumulating, which we'll see in the next part of the slide. But when they keep on accumulating inside root hair cell, there will be higher concentration of mineral. Outside root hair cell, that is in the soil, there will be lower concentration of the minerals, and this becomes then against the concentration gradient. From the soil, these minerals, they have to go inside the root hair cell, and that will need the active transport process because it is against the concentration gradient, and it will obviously consume some energy.
Yeah, okay, got it.
Okay, so that was one more example, that is the uptake of minerals. Now, active transport uses stored energy to move the particles or solute against the concentration gradient. So stored energy, you all know that mitochondria is there. The ATP is the form of energy, which is the form of chemical energy, which is stored inside the cell, and that will be utilized to transport these molecules in the active transport process. Now, in a plant cell, it takes place in the root cell by absorbing the water as well as mineral. Absorption of water will happen by osmosis, and mineral absorption will happen by active transport. It always leads to the accumulation of molecule or ions towards one side of the membrane. Now, Akshay, you have a question?
Yes, sir. Sir, so if the in the example which was there in the last slide, why would there be a higher concentration in the root hair cells? If there was, it would have been moved and gone to the plant, right? For the manufacture of glucose and stuff.
Okay, so we will come to that point. I guess it is being discussed here in the next slide, not this one. Sorry. So it is being discussed somewhere here. Yeah, it is being discussed here, osmotic pressure. I will come to this point when we are discussing the second part. Yeah, so let's finish this. So what was I saying? Yeah, so active transport will always leads to the accumulation of molecules. Why? That is what we will see in the next part. And it will lead towards one side of the membrane, one side as in like either within the cell or outside the cell, depending on that, whatever is the active transport rate and so on. But in this specific case, we will talk about that inside of the cell, there is accumulation of these minerals or ions. And this is carried out specifically by these membrane proteins. In earlier slide, we had seen this yellow thing is nothing but a membrane protein, which is located at the membrane. And like I said, It can be a single protein or it can be a complex of proteins, various other proteins, and that will actually carry out the process of active transport and will transport ultimately the substance from lower concentration to higher concentration. That is the active transport. Now, there are quite a few minerals that usually gets absorbed through the root, that is nitrate, sulfate, potassium, zinc, manganese, and so on. And they cannot, the reason why they have to be uptaken by the active transport process is because they cannot pass through the cell membrane so easily, cell membrane of the root cell, right? And that is when they need to be kind of pulled inside by this energy utilizing the membrane protein. So ultimately it is active transport. Now, why this has to happen? This is because their concentration is higher inside the root cell. And why it is higher inside? It is maintained so to develop the osmotic pressure for absorbing water. Now, one example that I will give you here is, let's say you eat a protein rich food. If you have ever observed, the color of the urine changes. Why? Because let's say you are drinking regularly 2 liters of water, and one day suddenly you eat lot of proteins. So those proteins will get broken down to urochrome, which is the color of the urine ultimately, that is yellowish color. So if you have eaten lot of protein, the urine will turn yellow. But at the same time, if you are eating more of the protein and you are also drinking more water, so instead of 2 liters, you drink 3 liters of water. So the ultimately that urochrome or that yellow colored compound is getting diluted. So you will not see the color change, though you have increased the amount of protein that you have consumed. Now, why am I giving you this example or this analogy is, if more minerals are stored inside the plant, more water can be stored along with it. For example, one mineral, hypothetical situation, one mineral molecule of any of those minerals that are being mentioned, they are associated with, let's say, 10 water molecules or 1 water molecule, that doesn't matter. But let's say some of the molecules of mineral, they are associated with some of the water molecules, and they always need that concentration, whether it's 1:1, 1:10, or whatever, right? Now, if the moment the water has to be there, that means the mineral also has to be there in that much amount, and that is why that accumulation keeps on happening. So if there are, let's say, 100 molecules of mineral inside the cell, then 100 molecules of water will also have to be there. And that is when the osmotic pressure is also developed, that is within the cell, the osmosis will keep on happening. But as and when water is getting absorbed, then the minerals will keep on diluting, and plant does not want that. So they will keep on absorbing more and more minerals as and when more water is also getting absorbed. So that is nothing but the osmotic pressure. So maintaining the homeostasis, or what we call as mineral balance of a cell, this particular accumulation of the mineral compound, mineral or ions is required within a root hair cell. Does this make it clear to all of you? Akshay, especially?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. So now then I assume this is yes for everyone else also. So that way, like now we know that active transport happens from lower concentration to higher concentration. It requires energy, it requires membrane proteins, and why it has to happen that way and why does it keep on accumulating minerals or ions inside the root hair cell is because it has to maintain the osmotic pressure for absorbing the water. So more water is absorbed, so along with that more minerals are also getting absorbed, and that's why it will keep accumulating. And I hope the difference between young root, which are absorbing the minerals through diffusion, and later part of the root, like older grown roots, which have already accumulated sufficient of mineral, they will absorb these minerals by the active process from the soil. So this way, the concentration gradient of these ions is opposite to that of diffusion. That is quite obvious. If the soil has more minerals and root has less minerals, then that would be a diffusion. But soil has less minerals, root has more minerals, so that way it is active transport with the help of energy. And to obtain these ions will have to forcibly carried away from the region of their lower concentration, that is from the soil, which is outside, to the region of their higher concentration, which is inside the cell or inside the root hair, where the concentration is already higher or accumulated minerals, and this will require some energy in the form of ATP. Okay, any question before I actually move forward? Does anyone have any question? I hope this part is clear to everyone. Okay, so then if that is clear, how much time is there? 15 more minutes. I was thinking, okay, let's not start this part because it will be again too much to get into. This we will check it in the next class, that is turbidity and flaccidity, but we can do a quiz here. So let me go over it. Okay, so why don't we do this in the class itself? So we have few questions discussed already, and then so who would like to read and answer the first question? Or I will have to name someone, which I don't really like. Volunteers, people volunteers.
I can answer this one.
Okay,
So a plant cell doesn't have centriole.
doesn't have, then what does it have? If you, correct.
Everything else.
How does it undergo mitosis? Yati,
Huh?
how does it undergo mitosis then? If it doesn't have centriole?
Wait, I have to think.
Anyone else? If
Sir, there is a cell plate, I guess. I mean, I recall some cell plate would be formed in between the both the cells, like formed in one cell, which are about to get divided.
that you are talking about at the end of anaphase or telophase, correct?
Yeah, sir.
These centrioles, where are they involved? Starting from prophase itself. That's where the mitotic spindle assembly or fibers they develop. Okay, good. If no one knows, then you do it as a homework. Search for what is it that plant cell need instead of centriole if it is not present within the plant cell. How does the mitosis happen without centriole? We had done this in the class, so you can check it out. I will move to the next question. Next question, who would like to go? Oops, that's already answered here. But yeah, still you can give it a thought why that is correct. Anyone? Aryan?
You want me to explain, or
Yeah, if it is a correct answer.
I'm not too sure about red blood cell, but yeah, root hair cell I think has isosociated volume.
So which one would you choose then? If this is correct.
I'm not too familiar with this thing of red blood cell. I guess it does function in transport of oxygen,
Okay.
but root hair cell doesn't. So
Okay.
both probably contain a nucleus.
RBCs doesn't have nucleus.
Oh, okay. Then it's probably C only, like the third one.
Okay. Anusha, what do you think?
So even I think it's C only.
Okay, so let me quickly explain then. Yes, that is right option. So what is the similarity between red blood cells and root hair cells? Obviously, both function in transport of oxygen, not true. RBCs, they function for transport of oxygen. Root hair cell does not transport oxygen. It only transport water and minerals, right? And whatever amines and so on, right? But that they are still called as minerals altogether. So that is not true. So first option gone. They contain nucleus. RBCs does not contain nucleus. Root hair cell contain nucleus. So again, second option is gone. Both cells, they have high surface area to volume ratio. Now, if you remember specifically, RBCs, they carry lot of oxygen due to the presence of hemoglobin. So they might have high surface area to volume ratio. Hair cell surely has higher surface area, because that was one of the characteristic that we had seen in the first few slides or first few topics of this chapter. That was one of the characteristic of root hair cell, having higher surface area, and obviously volume will remain the same. So that ratio is higher. And part of the cell forms long and narrow protrusion. In root hair cell, it forms protrusion like root hair cell or root hair. But otherwise in RBCs, there is no protrusion. That is a growth, outgrowth. So the correct option is this one. That is both cells, they have high surface area to volume ratio. Submit my answer. It should be correct, of course. Then third one. Now, which of the following structures are only present in the plant cell? Now, which all do you think are present in here? Again, any Tanisha thinks second is present. What about the others? 1, 2, 3, 4. Neeraj, would you want to try?
It's two, because cell wall isn't there in animal cells.
Okay, are you sure?
Yes,
I
sir.
think it should be one as well, because it's a large vacuole, right?
I guess you all need to read the question very carefully. Which of the following structures are present only in a plant cell? They should underline this word, put it in block letters, and then you will probably notice it. Is the cell wall present in the animal cell? No. People, sleepy, sloppy people, wake up.
No, that's why he said two, right? And I said one. I know it's two, but it should be one as well, because it's a large vacuole, and they also underline four, like four. So four is a small vacuole. So I guess.
4 is not a small vacuole.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I mean, I thought it was a vacuole.
Yeah, actually it does not really show, but this, I imagine it's a chloroplast, which is very specific to plant cell. So if you look, one which is large vacuole is only present in plant cell. Small vacuoles, they are present in animal cell as well.
Sir, I guess all those small dots are chloroplasts, and that is mitochondrion or something.
But then mitochondria is usually shown in zigzag manner. Yeah, this is not the way that it is shown. Or this can be starch granules, the dot dots that you are
They
referring.
can be ribosomes also, right?
Yeah, it can be anything which is equally there in the, like ribosomes, they are part of the animal cells as well, right? So that way, anyway, that means they are present in both cells, but what we are talking is only in plant cell. So actually nucleus, this third structure, is present in both. So surely that is not the option. So 1, 3, and 4. So that is the correct option. That is, sorry, 1, 2, and 4, not 1, 3, and 4. Second is, third is present in both type of cell. Large vacuole is specific to plant cell. Cell wall is specific to plant cell. And the chloroplast is again specific to plant cell. Why I am thinking this is chloroplast is because chloroplast is a capsule-like body. I don't know how you have studied earlier, but chloroplast is actually a capsule-like structure which is oval shaped within a plant cell. Yeah, so that way this is the option. Again, let me check. Yeah, it should be correct. Yeah, correct. Then
So could you scroll down a second in the next question?
huh?
Could you scroll down in the next question? No, no, in the next question.
Okay.
Scroll down in the answer.
Huh?
Thoda sorry.
Huh?
Just go to unanswered.
Unanswered. Huh? What do you want me to do?
Okay, never mind. I thought because all the things are coming with the answers over there, there might be an option.
Ah,
Where it
okay,
wouldn't
that
be
way.
Yeah.
So then I can click on something which is wrong now.
Yeah, we all see the answer right now.
Okay, but then you have to explain also. So maybe so an experiment was set up as shown, right? So this is the experimental setup that is being shown here. After an hour, the liquid level inside the Thestel funnel increased. Now this is kind of a Thestel funnel. Why? It is obviously named after some gentleman. So that is the Thestel funnel, and there is a membrane attached at the bottom of this, which is kind of opening. Otherwise, if the membrane is not there, but when the membrane is put, then it is blocking some movement. And this level inside the funnel that you see in dark here, that is increased after an hour, right? Once this funnel is dipped inside, the water level increase. Which of the following shows the possible content in the Thestel funnel at the start of the experiment? So what is present outside and inside of this Thestel funnel from these possible options? What do you think? And you have to justify why, even if you know the answer or even if you have seen it. Say it, Tanisha.
I don't,
Why?
but I know the answer is the third option, but I don't know why.
Sumed.
Maybe the last one. I'm not sure
But then why? Why do you think so? Even if it is last or third, or
because so that would mean it's higher concentration inside the
Thestel funnel,
Thestel funnel. Yeah.
and why it has to be higher?
Is I think it's related to osmotic pressure, right?
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Anyone else would like to try this? Yati, Aryan, Neeraj, Akshay, Anusha, Ratul, anyone, Navya, Laksh, Shantanu, Apala, Sachin. No one is speaking.
Sachin speak.
Okay, so let me quickly say that and then we will stop after this, I guess. So let's say inside, if we put 10% of the sucrose, so Thestel funnel 10% sucrose, and beaker also has 10% sucrose per situation. In that case, there will be no movement. So there has to be no chance that water level increase, because both solutions, they have same osmotic pressure, or in other words, they have same tonicity, right? So there has to be no increase. So first option, cut, not true. Second option, Thestel funnel has distilled water, that is inside is distilled water and outside is 5% sucrose, that is here. Now this is partially permeable membrane, that means it will not allow the solute movement, but it will only allow solvent movement. So solvent is more dilute here, that is distilled water inside, and 5% sucrose here. That means water has to move from inside to outside by the process of osmosis. So that means the water level should decrease. So again, that is not a correct option, because here the questioner wants to ask why it is increasing. So second option is not true. Third case, Thestel funnel has 5% sucrose, that is inside 5%, and outside in the beaker is 10% sucrose. Again, lower concentration inside the funnel and more concentration outside of the solute. So osmosis will happen from inside of this funnel to the beaker. So that means again the water level should drop. So again that is not the case. We want increase water level. So fourth option is Thistral funnel has 5% sucrose and beaker has distilled water. That means water will flow from outside to inside, because from lower concentration of the solute to higher concentration of the solute, that is the osmosis movement of the solvent molecule. So water will move inside, and that is when the water level will rise. So the correct option is the fourth one, that is Thistral funnel will have higher concentration and the distilled water have lower concentration. So in the exam, actually, the reason why I try to take this quiz in the class is because we usually get this kind of questions. And we need to have more practice of these questions, because they are kind of putting the brain stimulus so that it remains activated and doesn't go to sleep. Okay, so please do practice this type of question. They are marked on my